And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Sean McCarthy.
All right, I don't know if you're all feeling it, but I know my man, the Punk, is feeling it. It's almost here. We are almost back to having fights in the year 2022, something for us to really talk about. There's all kinds of things that are going on behind the scenes. We're going to get into one of our last shows that has that, and then we're going to also talk about the UFC that's coming up with Calvin Kattar versus Giga Chikadze. My God, what a great start to the 2022 year. My man, how you feeling? You're actually looking good now. You're back.
I am back. You know, all the behind-the-scenes stuff, like me smashing on Podcast Dave, those type of things. I mean, I miss those days. I wish he was still here in the office so I could throw him a beating every once in a while.
Throw a burrito at him.
Throw a burrito at him. Oh, man. I kind of miss having him here in the office, though. You know, it's kind of sad, John. It really is. You know, but overall, look, I am pumped for this fight with Kattar and Giga. I think that fight right there is going to be probably it sucks. I'm glad that it's early, but it sucks that it's so early. You want to know why? Because as the fights go on throughout the year, this is one of those fights that we're going to forget that it was so good, and we're going to think it was like in 2021. So when it comes time to vote for the fight of the year at the end of the year, everyone's like, "Oh, remember Calvin Kattar and Giga? That was this year." Oh,
look at the prognostication in you coming up with it. It's going to be a great fight already before it happends.
I think it's going to be a great fight.
So do I.
I'm just telling you right now. I think it's going to be a great fight. But yeah, I think I'm excited for that fight. You got the heavyweights coming about also too with Gane and Ngannou. That's it doesn't roll off the tongue as well. Gane and Ngannou. It's kind of hard to say, but maybe it's just me.
Cyril versus Francis.
There you go. That'll work.
Smooth.
Cyril versus Francis. People are giving me a hard time because I say cereal like as in the cereal that you eat.
Well, it's close.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, so there's that. And then, honestly, Bellator, their very first card is a pretty stacked card up into the prelims as well. But I'm pretty pumped for that as well. So there's a lot to talk about. I think we're going to have some fun. Podcast Dave. You hear me, buddy? You hear me? How you been?
I can hear you.
We haven't talked to you in a long time. How you doing?
You know why we haven't talked to him in a long time?
Because I don't like it when he talks normally. But no, I got so much flack in the comment section. People thought I was being so mean to him last week. And I was like, oh, I love me some Podcast Dave. If I didn't love him, he wouldn't be here. But I love me some Podcast Dave. What's up, buddy? How was your holiday? We didn't even ask you. How was your holiday?
My holiday was fine. Yeah, that's it.
Right there. That's the reason we don't talk to you. That's the worst goddamn answer. My holiday was fine.
Give me some love, bro. Tell me what you got. How was it?
What did Lincoln get?
What did Lincoln get? He got a bunch of track sets. He likes all that stuff.
Okay.
But you hear something crazy? So I went for a run yesterday. I posted this on my IG as well, so you can see it there. But I went for a run yesterday, and I took Lincoln in the stroller because Tanya was taking the baby out.
Because you needed something to lean on.
To hold yourself up.
That too. So I jogged up to the track at the school with the stroller, and then I put Lincoln in the stands. And so I was doing some laps, and then I did my first lap, and then when I came around on my second lap, he was like, "Daddy, I run too." So I was like, "Oh, you want to run?" So I was like, "Come on then, let's run." And so I got him on the track, and that kid ran an entire quarter mile around the track without stopping. It was so freaking wild. There was another family there, and they're like, "Dude, you have a 3-year-old that's running around the track like nonstop." It was so well, man. They were impressed. I was impressed, and then he sat there for the remaining time, and he just cheered me on. He was like, "Daddy, go, Daddy!" It was so crazy, man. I could hear him from the other side of the track. Oh, that kid's gonna be an athlete.
See, that's what I tell everybody, man. Like the part about having a kid is, man, you're a rock star. When you come home from work or anything like that, and your kids come around, that's the feeling of being a rock star, man, because your kids love seeing you, and it's just awesome. You can't get it anywhere else, and you will be so sad when it's gone, and trust me, it will go.
What's crazy, man, is that he's over here cheering you on, but man, Dave's like Mr. Negative Nancy. He's like to everybody. It's like, opposite. Oh no, I love
There's
it.
a difference between negative and realistic.
Whoa.
And I'm
Hold
realistic.
on. We're getting a realistic talking from the guy that watches the WWE relentlessly.
That's true. I think it's real.
I know.
Oh,
Hey, Josh, next year you and I are going to go in and we're going to buy a present for Lincoln for Christmas, okay? But there are certain requirements, because this is what I do with my son and all my kids with my grandkids, is it must be either an incredibly hard thing to put together, so Dave has to spend hours and hours putting it together, because I just did that to my son with my youngest granddaughter. Bought her this kitchen set that had he goes, it took me 6 freaking hours to put that thing together.
Yeah.
Either that or it's got to have noise. Drum set. I bought my grandson an electric guitar with an amp.
Oh,
Come
man.
on, that's the best. That's
drum
called
set.
payback.
Oh man.
I'll send you the link when I put it on Facebook Marketplace.
That's so great.
I'm going to send a picture to Lincoln and say, Lincoln, this is your present from Uncle Josh and John. Make sure your daddy puts it together for you.
Oh man. I just sold my truck. Did I tell you guys I sold my truck?
Yeah, you said
John,
you sold it.
I just sold my truck, and then I went and bought myself a mountain bike, and I need a fucking truck now. I put it in my
Okay, what did I tell you? What did I tell you when you went and sold your truck? I said, it'll take 1 week for you to say, man, I need a truck.
Fuck, I needed a truck. I know, I went mountain biking, and the bike got so fucking dirty because the trails are a little
You
sloppy
don't want to
right
put
now.
it inside your Denali?
I was like, I don't want to put it in my Denali. Fucking, I laid down a blanket, put it. I was like, finally, I told my buddy who was there, he had a bike rack, and so I was like, hey, can you just follow me to my house? Let me put it on your bike rack and follow me to the house, drop it off. He's like, yeah. Oh, fuck. I felt so bad. I was like, shit, this is not going to go well. I'm going to have to get a truck again.
Yeah, I told you don't sell it.
I might do what Elaine did, though. I might end up going with the Jeep truck.
Gladiator?
Something like that. Yeah, I might do something like that. They have I'm not really, I wanted to probably go with the Bronco, but I'm not in love with the new look of the new one.
I love the two-door, but you just don't see a lot of them.
Yeah, there's that. But then also, too, they have the new Hummer that has a truck bed also. It's the electric Hummer.
Yeah.
I'm just not, I don't know yet on that either. I'll have to take a look at it. We'll see. I don't know. Anyways, all right. Well, hey, let's get this show started. But you guys first, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel as well as all of our audio platforms. Our biggest platforms are Spotify, which that seems to be taking off. Everyone's been listening to us in the car on the way on Spotify as well as iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play. But it's iTunes and Spotify are our two biggest listeners, our two biggest platforms, I should say. People listen to us on. So please go there, hit the subscribe button there as well so you can listen to us at any time, anywhere. We want to thank you guys for supporting our show. Also, go to our Waiting Extras and hit the subscribe button there, which that show is actually taken off now because we have our Wayne Interjection show that is on there. It's only available on there, and everyone seems to really love it. It's a short show between 8 to 12 minutes long. It's usually more on the 12-minute long side, but we have some fun on that show. There's a lot of goofing around and jerking off.
You guys,
You talk about what you're doing. I'm not doing that.
It's a lot of fun. We have some fun. What do you got there for us, podcast, Dave?
I was just going to say, if you guys didn't see the Who the Fuck game that we played on the last wing interjection, it was hilarious.
We were horrible. I mean, we were absolutely trash. We could. I think we got the first and the last one. That was
yeah. Someone goes, man, it's so embarrassing that people that work in the industry don't know these tattoos. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm sorry. I'm not checking out their tattoos. I'm checking out their combinations and their technique, buddy.
I know. And that's, well, it is funny because you see it, and as soon as you see it, you go, oh. But
yeah.
Like I said, it's the bad tattoos that you will recognize most of the time.
Yeah.
And if something's really good and really unusual, you'll recognize that, or really bad, you will definitely remember that.
Yeah, like the Johnny Cash on Alan
I
Belcher's.
love Alan Belcher's. Man, he's taken nothing but heat for that thing for years.
Man,
the Brock Lesnar knife cock.
Oh, yeah, the knife guy. That dude, the giant old fucking dick sword on your chest.
How crazy is that when you laid down to get that on your chest, what were you thinking?
Well, hold on. It's not what because, he draws it up. Well, he puts the stencil and you look at it and you go, yeah. And then you never know what he's going to end up doing with the real ink. It could have been almost completely different.
It looks exactly like a dick. It looks exactly like a cock. Oh my gosh. I mean, I think the same thing about the people that get face tats. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
You know, like you're just automatically
Going too far.
Yeah, you've said to yourself, I never want to fit into society ever with a fucking tattoo on your face.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I see these kids that are like 19 and 20, 21, 22 that have like 5 or 6 tattoos on their face.
Oh, yeah. I tell everyone, man, like, get all the tattoos you want. Keep them off of your hands. Keep them off of your neck, off of your face. Be in the position where, as a professional, you can cover it up. No one knows.
Yeah.
And then have all you want.
Yep. Yeah, I don't mind the ones that gonna kind of go into the back of your hand a tiny bit. I think it kind of adds a little character, you know, when you're wearing a suit. If you're wearing like a nice suit and all of a sudden you can see a little bit of the tattoo come to the back of the hand, kind of looks cool a little bit. You know, like they know you're a thug underneath that suit.
That's the problem. There will be guys that think you're just a freaking thug.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you are, but that's the thought process some people have.
Very true. But I think it adds a little style to it as well. Or the one that kind of comes up a little bit on the side of the neck. Brad Pitt had one like that, I think, on what was that, Ocean's 11 or 12? I don't know what it was. On the Ocean shows, the movies. He had a tattoo that ran up his neck a little bit in the movie. And it looked pretty cool, I think, because he was always rocking a nice suit, you know, in that movie. Anyways. I mean,
you like some Brad
people
Pitt
that,
there.
Yeah, people that wear suits, right? It's okay to have tats. It's okay. I'm like, no. But like, I agree with you, not to have it like up to your chin, you know, and then into your face. I mean, these guys are having like the football eye things and then over the eyebrow and then teardrops. And anyways, that guy, Tekashi 6ix9ine? He's got a 6ix9ine on his forehead or some shit.
Got it on his cheek, I think.
Oh, so whatever, man.
Crazy.
I can't even listen to him talk. It drives me absolutely crazy. I want to fucking strangle him. I'd rather listen to Podcast Dave like all day, every day. Put me in a cell with Podcast Dave and just fucking play his voice over and over and over. And I'd much rather have that than him.
Well, there's a difference there in its talent. And that's the difference.
Oh,
wow! You're patting yourself on the back there a little bit, buddy.
All right, well, let me give you guys this first story.
Let's go.
All right, so the first story is Max Holloway is out. So actually, they announced this fight.
They announced the fight like 3 days later.
And before they could even put a poster out, Max Holloway is injured.
Well, that was Max saving them money. That was nice.
Yeah, right. So the report is that he re-aggravated an injury that was already there. And so now that he's out of the fight, everybody's throwing their name in the hat. And one of those people is Henry Cejudo, who tweeted out, "Hey Dana White, give me a shot at Alex. I would never cancel. I'm Mexican and we don't pull out of anything." And then
we don't pull out of anything.
That's why he's got a baby now.
And then he followed up and said, "Dana White, we need a UFC champ from the UFC. I'm your best chance. I'll put Alex to sleep faster than Joe Biden." But also, the other report is that Korean Zombie is the front runner for this, and I've seen people like Josh Emmett and others put their name out there for the title shot as well.
I've seen a lot of people. Yair Rodriguez, Josh Emmett, they're all vying for that spot. But if you're going to be honest and say who's the person, I don't know what's going on with Henry and the UFC as far as he retired, and we've all said that he's going to come back. We believe that he's going to be back. It's a money issue or something like that, but he's been out for a while, and the longer that he's out, it's not easy to come back. But he has been training. I know. I watched.
Oh, man.
But he's been training and stuff. But there's a difference between that speed factor when it's real and Volkanovski. The one thing that you know about Volkanovski, look, he can be beat. Any man or woman can be beat on a given day, but Volkanovski is definitely not going to make it easy, and you're going to have to beat him because that is a stone-cold killer. He is just tough as hell. But Henry's the guy, you talk about skills, the one thing that matches up well, a lot of guys are a lot bigger than Henry when it gets into that, going up in weight into the bantamweights and then featherweights. Mm-hmm. But, Henry will be the shorter guy by a little bit, but he's not smaller than Volkanovski, really. He's shorter, but he'd actually match up pretty well because Volkanovski doesn't have a big reach. He doesn't have those kind of advantages. He's usually the guy that has a disadvantage. He just, makes it happen. And so it's a good fight. And the skill level and the wrestling that Henry brings and his stand-up that is now good and the way he delivers things, it's a great fight.
I've been saying this for the longest time. This is the only fucking fight I want to see Henry fight. This is it. I want to see Henry come in and try and get the triple C, the real triple C. You know, I know he's got the Olympic gold medal, but I want to see him for him to be the first. Can't tell me he wouldn't be considered the best.
Quad C.
Yeah, it'd be quad C. We call it quad C now. Dave likes to chime in on quad C stuff sometimes, but I think that this would be the fight to make. Now, I love Korean Zombie. I think Yair has a valid case, even though he's coming off of a loss. He's got a valid case.
No, he doesn't. He's coming off a loss. That's a problem.
But I understand that. But it was a pretty damn good fight.
It was a great
Max.
fight. It was a great fight.
You know, and I think stylistically he does pose a threat to Volkanovski with those kicks, the style of which he does it. I mean, and you guys all know I'm not a Yair Rodriguez fan at all. I mean, I'm a fan of him in terms of the way he fights. I love the way he fights. But the other stuff, I just don't like the way he handled. Like, you know, he was very crude in the way he have said, like, hey, to try and put his name in the hat for this fight on Twitter. Like, I don't know. It seems like it's just fake. I don't really care for it. But his style of fighting, I think, would pose some serious threats. Now, in saying that, Volk's manager and Volk, they both have kind of come out and said that, you know, that it seems like Korean is, because Volkanovski is the only one that's commented, or he's only commented on Korean Zombies.
Korean Zombie, yeah.
Yeah, on Korean Zombie. So I'm assuming that that's probably the one that he's looking to fight. And if once the champ says, you know, pretty much this is who I want, it seems like the UFC is going to give him a little bit of love and probably give him that fight.
Yeah,
it would make sense. I mean, what Korean Zombie, is he coming off of a win?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's coming off of a win. Who did he beat?
Because
he didn't. Yeah, who did he beat last? Because before that, he had lost to
he lost
Yair,
to
correct?
No, he lost to Ortega.
Dan Ige.
Ortega.
He beat Dan Ige.
Gotcha. So Dan Ige. So, I mean, he's coming off of a
That's
win,
a good
but
win.
I mean,
That's a good win.
It would be a good fight. I think he's a lot bigger than Volk, but Volk has proven that Brian Ortega was bigger than him too. You know, and that didn't make a difference.
Everyone's bigger than him.
But I just think the wrestling of Henry Cejudo is
Makes a big difference.
The speed of Henry Cejudo will also be a difference too.
Yep.
So the speed and the takedown and the ability to scramble, that's going to favor, Henry Cejudo. And Volk is usually the guy that is the smaller guy with a little bit more speed and a little bit more of the scramble and the transitions, which he's not going to have against Henry. But Henry, like when Henry fought Marlon Moraes slowed down and got tired. Volkanovski's not going to do that.
Nope.
So he's going to have to go hard the whole time. Yeah. And he's going up in a weight class. Marlon Moraes is a big guy. Marlon Moraes is bigger than probably Volkanovski when you put them side by side. Yeah. You know, and I think in walk around probably he's bigger. So I think Henry can deal with that. I think Henry knows how to deal with it. So we'll see if they give it to him. I doubt they will, but I would love to see that fight. That's the only fight I want to see Henry come back for. Maybe Petr Yan.
Maybe.
Piotr. I don't know if it's
Petr Yan. Whatever it is. But yeah, I agree with you. I think the big difference is it would take one of the aspects that makes Volkanovski very dangerous is he does have good takedowns and he does put people on the ground and he does do good work on the ground when he's there. He's going to have a hard time taking Henry Cejudo down, and if he does get him down, I don't see him keeping him down.
Yeah,
Henry's too good at that aspect of the game. His scrambling ability is just incredible, and it would be fun. But look, I would have to say, going into it, you got to make Volkanovski the favorite in the fight. Have to.
Oh, for sure. I mean, because of the time off, even if he didn't have the time off,
all of it.
I would, I would agree with you. Yeah, and that pains me to say.
I know.
I would agree with you. But who else in that? Dave, can you go back to the rankings, please? Who else in there could potentially outside of these guys? Well, welcome to 2022. We want to thank mybookie.ag for supporting us through all of 2021 and now rolling into 2022. Big John and I have been supported by them, and they've been supporting a lot of people out there by making them money. And the way you make money with them is you go to their site at mybookie.ag. Use our promo code WayneIn. They give you a little extra spending cash with a QR code that's right there, and that QR code will give you that extra cash. And if your first initial deposit can go up to $1,000, they give you a significant amount of money for that very first bet. And I'm telling you right now, you guys will not be disappointed if you guys use us and our advice. We will help make you guys a lot of money. I'm just letting you know because we've been pretty good, John. We've been on a roll lately in helping people make money. When you go back and watch some of the fights that we've predicted, people have come back and been very happy. Read our comment sections in the mybookie.ag area there and use the promo code weighing in. Okay, with all the stuff coming up, you've got the you got the NFL football playoffs coming up. You got the NBA playoffs coming up as well. There's a lot of good things that are all coming around. NHL hockey, but the fights for sure is our world. Boxing is going to have a big year this year, I believe, and I think that we're going to help you guys with that as well. So with all the stuff coming up, go to mybookie.ag, use that promo code weighing in so we can help you make a little extra cash.
Well, since I was looking at it, and the only one that you could look and say out of those guys, because obviously Brian Ortega is not going to be in that mix, is you could put the guy that gets no respect, but people don't even bring up, don't even think about it. Arnold Allen, who's good. He's a stud. That guy is a solid fighter everywhere, and I think he would match up well with Volkanovski. He really would.
Yeah, John, but he's the one that hasn't said anything on social media.
I know.
So guess what? Closed mouths don't get fed, my friend.
Dude, squeaky wheel, man. Exactly what you're saying. It's part of his personality. It's who he is. He's not that talker. He's not that guy that boasts. Some bitch can fight, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see where he goes because he's the only one that I've been looking through this a little bit, and he's the only one that I haven't seen say anything that's in that top ranking. Josh Emmett said something. I think Cater's going to wait till he gets a win, then probably.
Well, Cater's got to go through Giga.
Yeah, Giga
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I'm saying the winner of
that's a couple days away.
I think the winner of Giga and Cater is probably going to try to throw their name in there unless the match has already been done.
I'll tell you what, it could be that I'm not too sure if they're going to throw Cater in there if he gets the win, but I could see them throwing Giga in there if he got the win.
Interesting. I think Yair and him would be a great fight.
What are you doing? You can't get all fucking yawny about talking about this. Is incredible.
No. It's early for me. It's early for me. I haven't had my full dose of coffee yet, you guys.
I full dose all the time. Yair, my only thing with it's very difficult to put a guy into a championship fight coming off of a loss unless it was a loss in a championship fight and it's a rematch because he was the champion. It's just tough. And it's not that it can't be done. I just don't see it really happening.
Yep. Yeah, and the issues that they've had with him and fight stuff, and he hasn't been the easiest to deal with and work with. So I think that they're also like, now we're gonna give this guy a title shot, and now we're gonna have more problems if he does win. Oof, not a good thing. All right, what's next? What else you got for us there, Dave?
So next story is Derrick Lewis and Tai Tuivasa being announced as an official fight.
Fun fight.
John, don't say gatekeeper, okay? 'Cause you'll get murdered in the comments. You get negative Nancy over here. No, this is a fun fight.
This is.
That being said, Derrick Lewis all day. Derrick Lewis all day.
Here's the difference. Tai Tuivasa has actually got a pace. He brings pressure. Now, you've seen him get hit and respond. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Mm-hmm. But he has been hit and he responds. He can definitely be put out just like anybody in that weight class can be put out. Derrick can be put out. But just the way they approach the fight, what Ty's got to be careful of is those moments of explosion that Derrick Lewis has. Or he has got to be sure that he does not find his ass on the fucking mat with Derrick Lewis on top of him, because he ain't going to get up and he's just going to take massive damage down there. But this is, I hate saying, it's not going to go to the judges. It could, but this is one of those ones you go, man, this thing's going to be explosive at moments. They're going to both feel each other, and it's going to be, ooh, that guy, he's got power. And they're going to just, at moments, explode, and it should be just fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see what we saw probably against Dawkins with Derrick Lewis. He's going to just kind of figure out Tuivasa in the first 2.5, 3 minutes, and then he's going to be like, you can't hurt me.
That's enough.
And then he's going to walk right up to him and just blitz him for about a minute, and then he's going to suck wind and run for the next 30 seconds until he gets the whole minute off, rest, break, whatever it is between rounds. That's Derrick Lewis's MO, and he follows it to a T. But the problem is not many people get past that initial or the second one. So the second initial explosion.
It's hard to get past the first one.
Yeah, when he's more fresh, yeah. But it's gonna be I agree with you, John. It's gonna be a fun fight. To me, I think the lead up, Derrick Lewis, the way he does his media is fun. I think Tuivasa, same shit. The way he does his media, he's exciting as hell. The way I'm excited about all aspects of this fight. The media lead up, the conversation back and forth, the way when they get in there.
I just want to hear Derrick Lewis talking about the shoey. You imagine him talking, no one's going to spit in my shoe and I'm going to drink it. What are you doing? Are you crazy?
Fuck no. Gosh, that's fucking gross. I just fucking threw up in my mouth listening to you say that. It's so gross. John, can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine if I spit in your shoe and said, okay, go ahead or drink it?
Yeah, no.
There's just no fucking way. Never. Never. Not with COVID.
I don't care if there's COVID or not. I ain't doing it.
Oh, shit. You wouldn't do it if there wasn't COVID? Come on, John. I thought we were boys. Come on.
I have to be a good-looking lady that's spitting in that shoe, man.
Oh, man. All right. What else you got for us, Dave?
All right, let's hop into this next one. So in the spirit of talking about fights, Cub Swanson called out Uriah Faber, and then Uriah Faber responded and said he'd be totally down, and they could make it a King of Cali fight, so a potential for another belt. Like
NorCal versus SoCal, baby.
John, I think Uriah shouldn't have said that because everyone relates him to California and him being kind of the guy for California.
California kid, man.
Yeah, I mean, now you just gave up your namesake if you lose to him. Like, that's what you had going for you, buddy. I think it's a tough fight for Uriah as well because Cubs been active and Cubs, he's coming off of a good win, but he's been active. He's, and Uriah's living the family life right now. And then for him, like we've talked about, and there's video proof on my Instagram right now that it's painful to watch and hit mitts after you have not done it for a while. I went and hit mitts the other day, Dave. I swear I was like, I did a bag workout with my buddy Rich Chow, which I think both of you guys know. And I did a bag workout at this gym. My hands were hurting like I would say probably 10 minutes in, hitting the bag. And then I hit mitts afterwards for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. My hands were so sore. Yesterday, I couldn't even close up my right hand. I couldn't even close it to grab my cup of coffee. And so I'm thinking Uriah, I know he still trains. He owns a gym, so he's still in his gym all the time. There's going to be some pain going into that. And now you're fighting someone who's an active fighter, like with Henry fighting Volkanovski. There's a lot of things that you got to go back through and get your body used to. You don't just jump back into it and think your body can take that type of damage. It takes years to build up
the callus,
that calloused up body to, that can go out there and take shots. And even when you're delivering the shots, that shit hurt. Like I was working that bag. I was like, yeah, bag, take that bitch. But then at the end, I was the one that was the bitch. I was like, damn, this shit hurts. It was painful. I mean, I got done hitting the mitts, man. It was horrible, John. My right hand still, you can tell it's a little bit swollen. Look at that. Look at that.
Well,
can you see that?
You turned candy. I've been there for a while.
I'm a candy ass. I had to use some slang that Podcast Dave would know from The Rock. I'm a candy ass.
You bring your candy ass.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I should have watched. I wish I would have watched the WWE back when he was around because he was fun. Seems like. Okay.
The one thing that I like that Cub Swanson brought in, he says, we'll call it a Legends of WEC fight or something like that. I kind of like that. That's good.
I like that. That was good.
It's perfect. I actually like the matchup. I think it's a good matchup. I think it's fun. I think it is, NorCal versus SoCal with Cub. But I do agree with you, and it was the one thing I thought is, not that Uriah can't win. He can win the fight.
No, he can.
But if he loses it, it kind of takes away that whole California kid thing. It throws it into Cub Swanson's lap, and he it's like he stole it from him. And I'm not sure that that's the best thing for Uriah, but I don't think Uriah really cares. I think Uriah has fun. He's done very well for himself in the fighting game. He's a good businessman outside of it, outside of the gym business and everything. Mm-hmm. So the only reason he's really fighting now is for fun and for moments that excite him. I actually think this is a fight you kind of get excited about.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you, my man. I think so too. I think it'd be a good fight for him. His last fight was what against Petr Yan.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, I mean that was a tough fight for him. But
come on. Going into that, we said that is not a good fight for him.
Yep.
It's tough.
But I think him and Cub being both a little bit older in age, and I think it'd be a fun fight. It's a nostalgia fight, I think, for old people like you and I, John.
Boy,
it's definitely one of those.
One of the things that people don't remember is, when Uriah was younger, he was the best featherweight on the planet for a while. All right, he was. You take a look at everyone at that time. He was the guy. And you can't be the guy forever. It's going to change, and age changes everything and stuff. And so you look for those fights that, can still motivate you and things like that. And I actually look and think that this is that fight where you could see Uriah saying, yeah, I'll do it again. With Cub, that'd be a good one.
Because once you hit, look, for me, at 36, 37 years old, it started being about who motivated me.
Yeah.
It was like, actually even like probably when I was like 32, 33, I was like, look, if the person doesn't motivate me, I don't really want to fight him. And it showed in some of my fights.
Yep.
It started showing. I was like, yeah, this is one of those fights. I really didn't, not that I didn't care. You care. You're just, it's not, you knew you weren't going to give your best performance. You knew your training camp wasn't the best. It was like, lackluster. I'm going to miss cardio tonight, or I'm going to do this. And, they're just, people just didn't motivate you. Certain people. But if he's going to come back, I mean, like, that's why when he fought Petr Yan, that was probably because Petr Yan motivated him. Like, okay, people are all talking about this guy.
Well, if he doesn't,
come in here and try and beat him. Yeah. Yeah. And then Cub Swanson, same thing, like they have the history of the WC, and of course, now Cub's coming off of a big win, and to be perfect opportunity for Uriah, and it motivates him.
Yeah.
To get him back in the gym. Regardless, look, there's certain nostalgia fights that I really want to see. I want to see Frankie Edgar and Dominic Cruz. That's the fight I want to see. Everyone keeps talking about Aldo and Dom. I don't want to see that fight. I think
Why?
Aldo beats. I think Aldo beats him. I think Aldo beats him, and I think he beats him easily.
Okay,
that's what I think. What a jerk!
No,
I don't want to see that. I want to see Frankie and Dom, because the two of them makes for a very good fight in terms of the striking, the speed. Both of them is slow down. Both of them can wrestle, and both of them, like,
you cannot compare Dominic Cruz's wrestling to Frankie Edgar's.
You cannot. I understand that, but Frankie has slowed down, and so
I admit that, but so is Dom, and now I say that he has slowed down, but he's still fast.
No,
it's so, but compared to when he was, the king, he was really fast, and he had his movement was very much like a Horiguchi fast. He was in and out before you could do something with it, and that's what made him as special as he is. And so now he's getting touched a lot more, and that's why you're seeing him getting knocked down. But he's able to recover. But I think
he never had the power of Horiguchi.
No, never had the big power, volume.
I don't like the fact that he put up his namesake on the California King thing. But I think overall it would be a fun fight to see, a nostalgia fight for us.
Yeah.
Next, Dave.
All right. Continuing the conversation around fights, the UFC has announced 3 other matchups, starting with Matt Brown, and Matt Brown's going to take on Brian Barberena.
Great fight.
Bobby Green's going to take on Nasrat Haqparast.
Haqparast.
Ariane Lipski's going to take on JJ Aldridge.
Yeah, the Bobby Green, I'm favorable to Bobby Green because I like Bobby Green a lot. We fought. He's got a win over me. He's a phenomenal fighter. He's very talented. He's still doing it at a high level, and he had a resurgence.
Oh, yeah.
He was
2020 was his year.
Yeah, he came by. COVID helped him a lot because he was an active SOB.
Oh, yes, he was.
He was super active. But he's fun, man. He's a good person.
Great person.
And he's a great person, yeah. And he's just, I think that's a good fight. So him and Nasrat will be. Yeah, that'll be fun.
The thing about Haqparast is got a lot of power in his hands, and he's active, and he's going to go after him. But Bobby's got that weird style, and he keeps his hands low. He can be touched, and he can be hurt, but he's also very difficult to reach at times. So it'll be an interesting matchup. I actually like the style, variance in it, and see what's going to happen with it. It should be.
He's the only guy ever in MMA that I've actually seen get away with the rolling shoulder.
Yep.
You know, that Floyd Mayweather rolling shoulder. He does.
He doesn't even Floyd Mayweather. It's not like, he doesn't even keep one hand up. He's got them both down and going. So
yeah, it's crazy. I'm surprised that he's still able to get away with it. I mean, he's a stud. But let's talk about the Barberena and Matt Brown fight.
Man, you talk about a junkyard dog fight. This is it. I love Bryan Barberena. Bryan Barberena has been in some of the great fights in the UFC. People don't, they don't bring up his name, but he's had some wars. He's won some of them. He's lost some of them, but the guy is a gamer that comes to fight. What everyone knows that Matt Brown is the same thing. The guy is somehow immortal in the fact that, man, he just keeps on trucking and he just brings the pressure. These guys are going to meet. I do think that Brown will be backing Bryan Barberena up. He backs everyone up, it seems like, for the most part, especially in the beginning of the fights. But Brown is just tough as hell, and he throws huge elbows, man. The way that he's able to get inside and slice guys up with elbows and the shots that he throws, he attacks the body well. Barberena is that guy that, go back and watch his Vicente Luque fight. Mm-hmm. Holy shit, what a fucking battle. Back and forth, and you know how good Vicente Luque is. And that was all the way to the end. Right at the end of the fight, Vicente Luque was able to get rid of Bryan Barberena, but, man, it was unbelievable. I think this is going to be that kind of fight. I think it's going to be that competitive and, honestly, that damaging for both guys.
Yeah, Matt Brown is one of those, he's just a dog, and Barberena is the same way, just a dog. The two of them are going to come in. Will Matt Brown's age play that much of a factor?
It might. You're always waiting for it to, but he seems to be able to just keep it going, man. The guy is a stud.
Yeah, I mean, he can still take shots. He still delivers some nasty shots himself. Not just on the feet, but when he gets on top, his elbows are just nasty. I mean, he's a dog, man. I mean, he's one of those guys and I like the way he carries himself. Always like the way he carries himself. He's very, I guess, stoic, I guess you would say. He just keeps to himself. He's a solid guy all the way around. So I think this is going to definitely be one of those fights, be fight of the night type situation. Maybe
this is one of the when the UFC announces a fight like this, you go, okay.
Yeah.
The matchmakers are getting it right. They're seeing things the way that, that's one that you've got to see.
Yeah, I agree. Next.
GJ Aldridge and Ariane Lipski.
Yeah. It should be a good fight.
JJ has been looking better and better. She came in MMA with a, very pretty sharp stand up, not the greatest ground game, but she's gotten very good with her ground. Her wrestling's good. Her ground and pound now, when she gets on top of people, it's good. Lipski she's just fun to watch.
Okay, John.
Doesn't she reminds me of what's the actress that plays Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot or something like that? That's the person she always reminds me of. She's a gorgeous person, but she can fight. Yeah. So this is going to be one of those really, who's the one that is able to at times take it down? JJ likes to stand and bang. I think that Ariane likes to be on the ground more. She needs to get this fight more to the ground in at times, not always, but at times just to slow JJ down. But it's a good matchup.
Should be fun. Definitely going to be a looker.
Oh, look at you slide that one in.
Yeah. All right, next, Dave.
All right, next story. UFC and ESPN announced that their pay-per-view prices.
Okay, I'm not happy with this.
Increasing. They're going to be going up to $75.
Well, quickly, we'd like to talk about one of our favorite sponsors, Fume, which is an incredible product that can help you break some bad habits or help a friend that you know who's a smoker, a vapor, someone that does something that you know is not healthy for them. They can take this beautiful prominent made by Fume. You would insert the essential oil cores into it, and you can beat down the habit of smoking or vaping and do something that is healthy for you. You can do this on a plane, on a bus, in a car. It will not affect anyone else. The year 2022 is the year for people to start getting healthy, getting back in shape, and feeling better about the way they feel, the way they look, and who they are as a person. So I want you, if you are a smoker or vapor, or if you know somebody that smokes or vapes, I want you to go to Breathe Fume, and Fume is F-U-M. Take that E and get rid of it. Breathe Fume /weighing in. Go there, and you can take and get one of these prominents and one of the essential cores. The essential cores has got all kinds of great flavors: peppermint, cinnamon, eucalyptus. They even have a holiday pack where they'll do candy canes and eggnogs. They're all something that when you breathe it in, it feels good. It gets into your sinuses. It opens you up, and you get that same effect if you're a smoker of that hand-to-mouth habit that you are so used to. Go to Breathe Fume /weighing in. Use the 10% off promo code, and we hope that you have a healthy 2022. This sons of bitches taking more money, man. What do you do? It's like everyone else isn't taking enough money. Oh, now you're going to. You got to figure it's just part of the game. More money, $75 for a pay-per-view anymore. Holy,
ESPN's got to make their money back, man.
The UFC started off at $14.99.
ESPN's got to make their money back.
Give a damn about ESPN making their money back. Give a damn about keeping my money.
They introduced the ESPN model and then dropped pay-per-view prices a little bit because you're paying for ESPN, and now you're basically back to where you were before.
Oh yeah, dude, it's just a matter of time before they say, okay, that's enough. We are going to get you. We're gonna get you. 75. It's gonna look. It'll go up in a couple of years. It'll go up again.
I think that they should have prices based around the type of main event. You know, I mean, like if you have the Floyd Mayweather and Canelo, or not Canelo, but even if we said Canelo, okay, it's $99 or whatever. With the McGregor fight too, what was it, $100, right? Something like that. That's a fight that it sparked so much interest they knew people were going to pay for it. Not every UFC pay-per-view is a $74 pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just being honest.
Well, that's, a lot of that is based upon sometimes the card changes. Your main event
true.
falls out, or you had multiples as far as championship fights, and some of them fall out, and so it happens. But, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. I can't say that. I just don't like being the person paying it.
Yeah. That's
Does the price increase for pay-per-view affect, like, does the fighters would that affect, like, fighters' negotiation for getting paid more on pay-per-view?
No.
You negotiate based off of...
You're negotiating based upon the buys. So in reality, you would think it's a possibility that you'll actually get less buys.
Yeah. Because
people are going, I'm not going to pay that.
Yeah, so like Dave, let me explain to you. Is that 100, let's say you're for 75 to 100 pay-per-view, you have to hit 75,000 to 100 pay-per-view buys.
100,000.
Yeah, 100,000. I've heard as low as 75 though. And once they hit that number, you start getting paid a percentage of your negotiated value. Say you're guaranteed $3 per pay-per-view. Well, for the first set from 75 to 100, you're getting like $1 of it. And then after that, you're getting like $1 after you get to 150,000 pay-per-view buys.
$1.50, $2,
Then it goes
$3
to 200, yeah, $2.
Depending upon how many.
It's based off of how many buys you get is what, and then levels to that is like, Connor would say there's levels to this game. You need to have levels. You need to go 100 to 150, 150 to 200, and your negotiated value goes up every time they hit that marker. So it like John was saying, potentially you're going to make less because they cost so much, and less people will buy it.
Yep. Then they have a great card, it's going to sell.
Yeah.
Then they have, like what Josh is saying, not every card is great. And then you might have the ones people decide that's the one I'm going to avoid. And it's really, you take a look, it's really $5 more. $5 per pay-per-view more. That's what it is.
Well,
but
it's almost on a whole nother pay-per-view per year, though. It's $60 a year.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where people get certain numbers. It's like gym memberships, $19.99. People have no problem taking a $20 bill and losing it. It's okay for the most part. But when you start to say $39, big difference in there. I'm not going to do that. And it's just the difference of even $25. You go $19.99 to $25. All of a sudden it's like, whoa, that's a little too much. Mentally, people have this thing about, certain number points and what they're willing to pay. And there comes that point where they go, I'm not willing to pay it. So
yeah, 74 that's steep, man. That's steep. I think for some reason I think like when I start thinking of thing, I think 69. 69 is kind of like the limit. For a while it was 49 was the limit, and then it bumped up to 59. Well, there was
if you're a big UFC fan, you love MMA, and you want to watch all those pay-per-views, you're talking about $1,000 or so a year. That's a lot.
Yeah, not a lot of people have that extra spending cash around.
Because you got to figure, you got to buy the ESPN, which is what, $6 now or $6.99?
I don't know. I think it was $4 something when I bought. Yeah, it's $4.99.
But now, but isn't it more now? $6.99?
I don't know. I'm still on my original contract with them.
I'm glad you're on your original contract.
It's $4.99.
So I think it's like it's going up for you, $6.99. So you take a look. Okay, that's for the 12 months you're paying that. And then for all these, it's going to come out to about $1,000. It's a lot.
If you bundle it with Disney and Hulu, it's like $13.
First off, I'm not bundling anything. Okay, you can bundle this.
You fucking candy ass. Oh, this guy. All right, next, Dave.
All right. Next story. Tyson Fury says he would like to have a boxing match against Francis Ngannou.
No shit, he would.
So in the midst of all, talking shit about Jake Paul and not being a real boxer, he's calling out. Well, not calling out, but he says he's open to having the fight, and he said he would do it in UFC gloves.
Yeah, see, that to me, John, changes the game.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
John, let me educate you. Okay,
you please do.
Let me educate you on this.
Let me educate you on some boxing.
Tyson Fury will not be able to he won't be able to cover like he does with the bigger gloves. It's going to be look. I'm not saying that Ngannou's going to win.
All I'm going to say
I'm not saying he's going to win.
All I'm going to say is this. Okay, Josh, you get Francis Ngannou, and I'll take Tyson Fury in this fight. We'll see who's going to.
I would actually take Ngannou.
Okay, good.
I would take it.
Good. You take him. So if this ever happens, you get Francis, and I'll take Tyson.
Yeah, there's got to be a time limit though on when this fight's going to happen.
What do you mean? There's no time limit.
I don't want them to be both 40 years old.
Well,
okay, I don't fight. I'm not betting
within the next 5 years.
Yeah, no,
it's a bet.
3 years.
It's $1,000 bet.
3 years.
3 years, $1,000 bet.
I'll give you $1,000.
$1,000.
I'll take Francis
straight up.
I'm a huge Tyson Fury fan. What my point is, he is. Tyson, if it was just like with boxing gloves, I'd Tyson all day long. MMA gloves changes it a little bit.
I don't care what the gloves are. No. All right, stop. I want you to think about this. And this is where people lose their perception of things. Francis has got power. No doubt about it. Do you think that he's got more power than Deontay Wilder's right hand? Do you actually
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
And what have you seen with Tyson Fury against Deontay Wilder, who is a boxer? Mm-hmm. Okay, do you think Francis can box better than Deontay Wilder?
No.
Not even close.
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm following you. John, I'm following you in that direction. I get you. But when
I love Francis,
MMA
and I don't want to see him do this fight because he can't win this fight. Tyson Fury is too good of a boxer and understands the game too much for Francis to be effective. I'm not saying Francis can't hit him with a shot and put him down, but he'll get back up. It's not like Francis gets to jump on him and hammer fist the fuck out of him. Okay? He has to walk away and let a referee come in and start doing a count. That makes a huge difference in this too. And so it's just everything goes against Francis. Everything.
I get what you're saying. I do. But when you got the power that he has, which I agree with you, he probably doesn't have as much power as Wilder. But those MMA gloves, John, they do change the game. Those shots will sneak through.
Defensively, I admit you cannot parry things the same way, and you do accept more shots that slide through compared to being, deflected off. It's not going to cause Tyson Fury any problems. He's a very good defensive boxer.
I understand that, but but boxers don't quite. We've seen it in the triad situation, right? Those guys, they don't quite understand, or they haven't.
Hold on, you're making a big mistake. The triad thing allows other rules. This wouldn't.
Yeah.
This is boxing rules with gloves. That's the only difference.
But you don't know the rules yet. They're talking about UFC rules, by the way, or UFC gloves.
No,
they even brought up UFC rules. They're both talking shit. They're both blowing smoke in that situation. But look, I think that if it was like, I understand in the trial situation, there are a little bit different rules. We don't know what the rule set is for this. It might be dirty boxing and clinching. That may not favor him either. That may not favor him either. The Gypsy King might be better at that also. The Gypsy King might be the true gypsy. He might be really nasty and dirty in that situation. But I really believe that understanding what it's like to get hit with MMA gloves is something that's going to take some time for Tyson Fury. Learning how to like block and defend, but
he's already been working out with. He works out with MMA gloves all the time.
Oh, does he?
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's good. Okay. I'm still leaning towards Francis.
Okay, you do that. $1,000, 3 years. We're good. We're on.
Geez.
Dave, mark the date.
John,
3 years.
But John, how does this fight happen though? How does it happen?
Well, the only way it happens is, one of two ways. Francis does fight out his contract and walks away from the UFC and either goes to a boxing promotion and starts boxing, or goes to an MMA promotion that allows him to box. And you could see it happening. Or, the UFC looks at it and he re-signs with the UFC, and they look at it like this could be a big money maker, like the, Conor versus Mayweather, and they can get a giant chunk of money. And so they would say, all right, we'll allow this. And they allow Francis to go and do it. That's your two ways. Other than that, don't see it.
Interesting.
If Francis beats Gane
mm-hmm.
and then gets, another couple wins as the heavyweight champion and takes Stipe's title defense record away, and becomes like this now all of a sudden very marketable guy that they're really pushing and stuff, and Tyson continues to win and becomes especially the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, as far as he gets all the belts from all the different, alphabet soup organizations out there, you possibly see it with the UFC involved. Possible. Anything's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see him leave to a promotion that may allow it. I mean, I don't know. But I mean,
you're being a homer right there.
No, he doesn't need to. But he doesn't need to. Here's the thing: he can go and get this fight right after he leaves, and then he can sign with any MMA promotion he wants.
Sure.
So if he leaves the UFC, right, being a free agent, he can go and sign this fight on his own through some lawyers and through his own through his own manager, take all the money, and then he can go sign with an MMA promotion right back after that. So I mean, he can do that as well.
There are things that come with being part of the UFC's machinery, though. Mm-hmm. And look, if there's one thing, and I know it, they do an incredible job of marketing the people they want to market. And when they put dollars behind those people's presence in the media, in just the public's eyes, everything, they start to just keep climbing. So I'm not saying the UFC has not put money behind Francis Ngannou and has not put time and effort into marketing him, but could they do more? Sure, they could. They absolutely could.
Yeah, they did the same thing with Stipe, though. They didn't really show him any love.
No.
Yeah.
They have. They never. They've done some things, but they've done what is. I don't know. Not. They haven't gone above and beyond with him.
Yeah. Interesting. Next.
All right, let's get into this other title fight that was also announced, and it's booked for March at UFC 272, and it's Aljamain versus Yan. Do we think it's going to happen this time?
What do you mean? What's going to happen this time?
No, do you think it's going to happen?
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen.
I think Aljo is in the position he knows that this fight has got to go through. I hope his neck is healed up the way it's supposed to be, so he gives his best performance. He's got a guy that wants to tear his head off, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's part of the fight game. But there's definitely
some bad blood.
Oh my God, this thing is elevated. I love it. I think it's great. First off, Aljamain, he wants it that way. He's pushing that. He's called him a cheater. He says he uses steroids, done all those things. He's just everything that you can do. Aljamain has tried to push, and in Petr's just his where he comes from, who he is. This is not funny. He does not appreciate it, and he wants to make him pay for everything that he's saying. So it makes it good. That's why I want. Are you gonna watch? Of course.
He's out there right now with Fiziev and Yaroslav Amosov. They're all out there at Tiger.
Yes, he's in Tiger Muay Thai in Thailand.
Thailand. It's crazy, man. Yeah, I mean, they were all together training. There's a couple of studs that were there with them as well. Yeah. This is going to be one of those fights that I'm just waiting to see. But I mean, John, I don't know if getting underneath his skin is a good thing.
Let me just say this: be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, those these like
there's things that and this is what happens when you have someone like a Petr Yan, and he's always fighting the very best guys for the most part. He comes in out of ACB, he was the guy, he was their champion. He comes to the UFC, he goes through the people that they put in front of him, and he walks through all of them, and he gets the title when he gets the chance against Aljo for the vacant title. And so now you look and it's like, it's hard as the champion, and we've said it so many times, you've got the target on your back, and it's hard for you to put a target on other people. This one ain't hard for him. This one is one that he wants. This is one that when you talk about being motivated for a fight, this is him being motivated for a fight. And so Aljamain's going to get the very best Petr Yan you've seen, and hopefully Aljamain is going to be the very best that we've seen.
Yeah. I feel like the excuses are kind of lining up already, though. Yeah. I mean, there was like, Aljo had posted some videos of him training. First sparring session, neck a little tight, everything's a little slower. It's like already kind of lining up some of it. But I mean, I understand. It's like,
well, he already tried to put out the part that I looked at and said, stop. Was he said, my fight with Corey Sandhagen, that was actually for the championship. That should have been for the championship, not the Yan versus Aldo fight. That should never have been that. So I should have been the champion already, even before I got it. It's like, what are you talking about?
Oh, man. I mean, he's a talker.
Oh, he's a talker.
That's one thing about it. He's a talker. So he's but he can fight. Here's the thing is,
he can. He's good.
He can fight. He's good. He can fight.
That's right.
I like to cattle prod him a little bit, because of the situation that all came about and stuff. But look, when it comes to March, we're gonna find out what is it. I don't know what the date is, March something, but we're gonna find out exactly who the best fighter is.
Yep.
I think majority of us believe it's Petr Yan, but we're gonna actually find out. That's why we fight.
It's gonna be. I think the thing it's going to show is, and it's like you said, Aljamain can have, whatever he wants to say. It's okay. He doesn't like us. Okay. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me in the least. Yeah. But when you look at what the odds are going to be in this fight, stand by. Because you're going to have an interim champion probably at 2 to 3 to 1 over the current champion. That says everything about how many people believe Petr Yan's going to win that fight.
Yeah, especially coming off of a serious neck surgery.
Gambling people and bookies, they don't give a shit who wins. They give a shit about making money, and so they've got to put the odds in a position where people will bite. And it's not gonna be easy getting a lot of people. You'll get Aljo's friends to bite on it. But you're not going to get, people to easily bite on the fact that Aljo is, in a position that he should be at a close odds with Yan. I just don't see it happening. I think you're going to see a big spread in it.
I'm telling you guys now, if you guys are Aljo's friends, don't bet on him. No, I'm not doing it. I'm just saying don't let your emotions get in the way, because I don't bet on my friends. Like guys that I even when I knew Cain Velasquez is going to win this fight, for sure he's going to win this fight, I didn't bet on him. I was like, there's no way that Cain's going to lose to Czech Congo. I'm like, there's no way. He got dropped 3 times in that fucking fight. You should have seen, like, had I put money down on Cain, I would have flipped the fuck out every time he got dropped. Cain ended up dominating the rest of the fight, but like he got dropped in that fight 3 times. Yeah. I was shitting myself, like, and I didn't even have money on it.
Yeah, that's just friendship.
Yeah, just my friendship on it, but I was freaking out. Anyways, if you're friends with people and you're close friends with them, don't bet on your friends. It's already nerve-wracking enough to watch them fight. It's the worst when you got money on it. So, but overall, like, and that's no, I'm not trying to take a dig. I'm not trying to take a dig at Aljo. Just don't. I just don't let your heart and your emotions get in there. You know, and start pulling on the heartstrings a little bit. It's horrible to watch your friends fight. You guys saw me like shit. Remember when Khabib fought Justin Gaethje? I was a fucking wreck, John. I was bouncing around in my seat. Like, what are you doing? Shoot the fucking takedown. I was freaking out. Anyways. All right, what else we got there for us, Dave?
All right, let's get into this next one. Did you guys see the video of Jake Paul throwing the kicks?
You're such a...
Yes, I did. But here's my... Okay, go ahead. You can show it. Yep. Go ahead.
Boom.
Oh, boom. Podcast Dave is throwing sound effects and boom.
Boom.
You know, here's my one question, because it didn't make sense to me. I saw that he put it out there. First day, training kicks, you know, doubted every step of the way, all that stuff, but, you know, kicking down the door of doubters. And it was placed from Miami, Florida. That gym he's in is in Hollywood, California, because that's Unbreakable. That's Jay Glazer's gym that he's throwing kicks. So that had to be filmed long ago. It's not filmed recently. He just put it out there.
He could have came to L.A. for something.
Oh, shut up.
I'm just throwing up. Whatever.
He could have. I'm going to call Jay and say, hey, man, was fucking Jake Paul
yeah, right.
in your fucking place recently?
I mean, last week you were sticking up for Jake Paul. And
I'm not. I'm just saying.
No, this week you're shitting on him. Come on,
I'm not shitting on him. He's throwing kicks. That's great. I like, it's great to see. But to sit there, I'm just questioning. I know where that gym's at, and I know where even the actual, Instagram post or tweet came out saying it was Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
So doesn't make sense to me.
It could have been a couple days before. Who knows?
Jesus, boy, you are a softie.
It's well, look, guys, it's a 4-second clip.
You're like pudding.
It's a 4-second clip. Like, what are you taking from 4-second clips?
Nothing.
The other thing too. So he kicked a kick shield. All right, cool. Like, they didn't look very good. They're very stiff. This got such a wide stance. This is not boxing. Like, it didn't flow as 1 or 2 kicks. I mean, like, I'm not taking much from this. Cool, you're training kicks.
That's great.
You got a couple more years to go, buddy. But look, I like to pat him on the back a little bit here and there, because he knows the media game. He understands social media. He will say and do whatever the fuck to get people interested. And that's, some people have moral compasses. These brothers don't when it comes to the social media game, and they will just go ahead and keep doing what they're doing to build it up. And I think it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant on their part. And I mean, this is like right up Podcast Dave's alley, like this type of shit.
He's loving it.
Yeah, he's tagged Bellator and PFL. I think because he understands that he's not going to go to the UFC. I mean, I think my personal opinion is that he's not going to go to the UFC. They're going to throw him to the wolves right off the bat if he signs a contract with them. Right off.
Are you kidding? Dana would want to just have someone
crushed.
Just murk him. He want him embarrassed.
John,
he would go into the other fighter's room and say, "Hey, here is going to be an extra $500,000 if you can do this to him, and here's an extra." He would do it.
Well, he'd have to fight at 185 against people his size.
Oh, I know.
That's the thing.
He'd be in trouble.
You put him against who? like Robert Whitaker.
Whitaker.
You know,
Jared Cannonier.
Paulo Costa.
Yeah, Paulo Costa. Marvin Vittori. Marvin's already gone out saying he wanted to spar with him.
Yeah.
So.
I think him and Paulo Costa would be a fun fight. Because Paulo Costa is probably not going to try to take him down. He's going to stand with him. You know, I know. I'm like, you're not taking him all the way up to Izzy. You know, and I don't even know if I take him all the way up to Robert Whitaker.
How about Kelvin Gastelum?
Yeah,
that would be a good one.
There you go.
I like
him. Or I can go with Darren Till. I can go with Darren
No.
Till.
No.
I go with Kelvin.
Kelvin Gastelum.
Kelvin fight makes sense.
Yeah.
Kelvin's not a big. He's not a big 85-pounder either.
No, not a big guy.
That makes
Got
sense.
good wrestling though.
Yeah.
Got decent submission game, and he's definitely got some pop in his hands, and he will stand there and throw. That would be fun.
That's a good fight.
Kelvin, I'm going to try to make you money here, push the fight, and push Dana to give you incentives.
Let's go, Kelvin Gastelum. Let's go.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm not taking much from a 4-second clip on 1 or 2 kicks.
No.
You know, it looks stiff. It looks rigid. It's like, okay, you got 1 or 2 kicks in. Okay, good. Hey, but you're doing your job, man.
You're
pumping yourself up. I love it. All right. Next.
All right, last one. Cyril Gane said that he dropped Francis in sparring, and he will release the footage. He says he'll release the footage.
God.
So, in the spirit of fun footage, Cyril says he has some.
He may have him, but I don't. There's certain things that are just. It's not written. It's code. You don't talk about what happens in the training room because it's just training, and a lot of things happen. And I've seen world champions destroyed by people that are nothing in the outside of the gym. I've seen guys that are top flight UFC fighters absolutely worked on the mat by people. Okay. It's not the fight. It doesn't matter. It's training. And there's going to be moments where you are the best person in the gym that day. And there's going to be moments where you're probably the worst person in the gym that day. And it's just that you have this title thing off to the side or something. It doesn't matter. The fight will prove who's the best fighter. The gym doesn't prove anything. Go back to... This is the easiest way, to try to get you to understand it. Go back to, remember The Ultimate Fighter when it first started? You could pick the same guy to fight multiple times.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you go back to Ultimate Fighter 2, it was, I want to say they had him at welterweights and heavyweights. And because they had, it was the only time they had Matt Hughes was a coach and Rich Franklin was the coach, who were kind of teammates anyway, and then we're going to fight each other. But Rashad Evans was in that Ultimate Fighter as a heavyweight, the smallest heavyweight by far. Mm-hmm. And when they used to do the training thing the day before, but the day before they put him in the house, or they would put him in the house and then do a training day and let the coaches then pick off of what they saw in the training. Mm-hmm. Rashad was the last guy picked in the heavyweights. Okay, they thought that he was lazy. They thought that he didn't have much for skill, all this stuff. And so the first person picked to fight in the heavyweights when Matt Hughes, who did not have Rashad, Rich did, Matt Hughes was going to pick. The first person he picked, we're going to fight Rashad Evans. And Rashad Evans comes out and wins. Mm-hmm. And then the next time that the heavyweights are going to fight, Matt's got the pick. He picks Rashad Evans. Because he kept going back saying, I watched this guy in the gym. In the gym, it doesn't matter. It's what they do against the lights. The guy that Matt Hughes had on his team, was someone that Mike Whitehead. He was one of the guys that everyone expected to be one of the winners. Keith Jardine was in there. Mike Whitehead is a monster in the gym. He demolishes everyone. But when you put him under the lights, can't perform the same way, while Rashad Evans tended to shine under the lights. And this is what you need to understand. I'm not saying that Cyril Gane doesn't shine under the lights. He does. He's a fantastic fighter. But it doesn't matter what happens in the training room. It's training. And some days it's a good day for you. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's you've been training all, for the last 2 hours. In walks this guy. You guys do some sparring and he looks better than you. Okay. It happens. But this is not the thing. And I will just say for Ferdinand Lopez, the coach, shame on you, dude. You don't get into this crap. Yes, Cyril's your guy and Francis is no longer. And that's all you say is, hey, I'll tell you what, I've seen him fight. I've seen him train. I guarantee you Cyril Gane's going to win. Go ahead. That's your job as the coach. But for you to try to bring up, oh, this is what happened and stuff like that, weak.
Yeah. We've talked about training plenty of times. But you just brought up Mike Whitehead, man. I mean, like, he wrestled at North Idaho College where I wrestled at.
Yeah.
And, he's really good friends with one of my best friends, Trevor Prangley, and they wrestled together, trained together.
He's a monster.
He was a monster in the gym. Everyone. Then he went to Militich's, was there. He was with all those guys when they were heavyweights there. Tim Sylvia.
He would destroy Tim Sylvia in the fucking mat room. He would kill him.
Then you get him in the bright lights, like everyone
Put him
talked
in bright
about.
lights. Tim Sylvia whip his ass.
Yeah, he just couldn't. He couldn't turn the switch. He just froze up, and he was someone he could wrestle the dickens out of everybody.
Yep.
When it came fight night with the lights on and in the crowd there, just wasn't the same fighter.
Yep.
And that happens. Now, Cyril Gane doesn't have that problem. He can perform under the bright lights, but it's not the same as it was in training. The bright lights maybe affect you just a tiny bit. Maybe they don't. But the ability when you're doing, like, remember, when you're sparring in the gym, you're very rarely are you sparring with little gloves on. So taking those shots in training are usually with 16-ounce gloves. Okay, so there's that. You're also wearing shin pads.
And
you're also wearing elbow pads. You're probably also wearing knee pads. It's like you've got headgear on. Everything is different. Okay, your peripheral vision is not the same. Okay, who was sparring what? I talked about this last week. Did Francis already go 3 or 4 rounds with the top guys in the gym? While Cyril Gane maybe came late and was still warming up and decided to use Francis as his first round or his second round. You know what I mean? Like, it really those things play a factor. I've had guys come in. We call them wall heroes. They come in. They're maybe they're amateurs or they're or they're maybe like in the lower level bigger promotions. Like, say they're in the King of the Cage or something like that. They're top guys in those, but they come in and they spar 1 round. They take 2 rounds off. They spar 1 round, take 2 rounds off. Those are guys we call wall heroes. They
want to look good.
They sit against the wall for 2 rounds, and then they come in, they spar with you, go hard after you just went 2 rounds. Let's say Kane went, 1 round with Paul Bonatello, then he went 1 round with, Mike Kyle. So he went in with 2 good guys and had 2 hard rounds. Well, this never happened, but I'm just saying, like, and then DC sat out for 2 rounds and then came back in and then went 1 hard round with Kane after he just went 2 rounds with 2 top guys. That's what happens, and that never happened between the guys. So make sure that's clear.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that's clear. But that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. There's fighters that come in that are extremely talented, but they sit against the wall for a couple rounds and they come in and they go hard. You don't know what the situation was providing. I mean, maybe he was the last round. Of Francis Ngannou's 5-round sparring session. Maybe he was the last round. He was still fresh. That happens as well. There's so many different avenues on how you can do this. Maybe Francis hit mitts, for 5 rounds, and then he came in, and then maybe 2 rounds of grappling before Cyril Gane even came in, to the gym. Then they got warmed up, and then they worked a little bit. You never know what the situation was provided that day.
Yep.
So let's not read too much into that. But here's the thing. All of this, is it playing to your favor? Because here, if you go out there and things don't start going well, mentally that fucks with you because you're like, oh, I was doing this to him in training. Oh, I did this. You're planting the seed in your own mind by releasing video footage or talking about doing it, or, oh, I dropped him in training. Now, if it's not the same as it was in training, John, it starts fucking with you mentally.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're like, damn, he's gotten better. Like,
Breaks
I
you
was
down
dominating
faster.
Yeah, I was dominating him before. Now it's not the same. No shit, it's not the same. This ain't practice, dog. This ain't practice, homie. You know what I mean? So that, and then the other thing, your coach is like, well, now he's dug a hole, and he's trying to figure out, how do I get out of this thing? Because he's part of it too, which is not good.
No, this is a coach should pump up his fighter all he wants. Go ahead. No problem. Don't start talking about the other fighter.
Yeah.
Don't. Because you're not the guy having to go into the cage to have to deal with that other fighter.
Yeah.
Don't. just not pump up your guy.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. I agree with you. All right. Well, hey, we're going to wrap this up. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/weighing in. Okay. ProWrestlingTees.com/weighing in. Use that promo code and you guys pick up one of our shirts, post a picture, tag us in it. We will retweet, repost, do all those things. We want to thank you guys for continuing to support us. It is 2022, John. We are pumped. We got the fights about to start. I am so excited to see the cater.
It's coming.
It's coming this weekend. You guys, we didn't talk about that fight. We didn't break down that card. Do you want to know why?
We will.
We're going to do that on Tuesday. And so we will let you guys, anyways, it drops on Wednesday, but we do it on Tuesday. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this show, and it's we're trying to keep you guys entertained throughout the holidays. I felt like we did a pretty damn good job because I read the comments, believe it or not. I still read them. I don't post on them now, okay, because Dave does it enough to insult us all. He's got like 16 bat accounts, like Batman accounts that are all in the back. And so he's constantly in there.
I wouldn't even know how to do that.
I don't either. I don't even know how. Like I had an account. I have one, but it had a name on there, right? It said something on there, and I wanted to get rid of that. I don't even know how to get rid of the name on there. I had to, so it's stuck now, and I'm like, damn it, how do I get rid of this name? And it still had my real name, Josh Thompson, but it had like this thing on it that said "See My Journey" because I originally started the YouTube channel. I wanted to like post more videos about like, day-to-day activities and what I was doing, working out, running at the track, fitness stuff, for the gym, for my own gym. And it just never came about. And, but now I can't get rid of that fucking little area at the end there. I don't know how to do it.
Speaking of Batman accounts.
Batman accounts?
Yeah.
Would you have one?
You're accusing me of it, and here you are explaining that you have
no,
one.
it's still.
No, he's accusing you of 15. He's accusing himself of 1.
Yeah, but mine still had my name on there. It still said Josh Thompson, See My Journey on it. It still said my real name. I know.
Is that Josh Thompson with a P or not a P?
Oh, there he goes, man. He's going after you now.
No, it's without a P because that's how real Scottish people spell it. Since it is a Scottish name, my friend. All right. I thought you would know that. I mean, but you're probably second tier Scottish. We get it.
You're not even Scottish, man. That's an American citizen right there.
Yes.
That's right.
That's
right. Congratulations. Did we talk about this already?
We did.
We did. All right. Yeah. See, my memory's gone, John. My memory's gone.
We don't even talk about your memory, dude.
Oh, yeah. We'll be here all day, huh? What'd you say?
We'll forget about it.
Also, go to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button on our Weighing In Extras as well. There's a link down below on our main channel that will take you to our Weighing In Extras. And then you guys can subscribe to both of them for our Weighing In Interjection show that we do specifically for the Weighing In Extras channel. Also, all of our audio platforms, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, all of those. We thank you guys for supporting us. And John, take us off, buddy.
The only thing to everyone out there, yes, it is coming. Fights coming up on Saturday. It's going to be awesome, and we will get some good stuff for you on Tuesday. I think we're going to even have someone to talk to a little bit. We're going to try doing a little bit of interviews on Tuesday every now and then. So that's coming your way. And for this one, we're signing off because we will see you